So I was thinking about what video topic to make, and after looking through a few topics from my phone, I couldn't really find any. So I decided I would talk about it for the umpteenth time because people really do not seem to get my point. Male and female are sexes, not genders. Is this nigga fucking retarded? This guy probably has one of the worst arguments I've ever seen on my channel. Yes, male and female are genders. You can stop crying. Like, this is all based on common sense. I don't understand why you're writing fucking articles and explaining in an alternate dimension on somehow, some way that my points are just magically invalid. Like, you have one of the most stupidest fucking arguments I've ever seen on my comment section. Non-binary is literally as described. Not binary. A system that is comprised of two things such as the translators in a computer or the two most common sexist genders. So basically non-binary people don't fucking exist. I've elaborated on this point multiple times and this is based on common fucking sense. Please stop. And I am not joking, these are my exact words. No doctor has ever pulled out a baby and said it's a non-binary. And I have even said in that same video myself that if you were non-binary, you wouldn't exist. And this just proves my point by defining both terms separately. Like, if you couldn't get it enough, saying that you're non-binary is the equivalent to saying that you're non-existent. I swear, reading most of these arguments is like watching paint dry. Gender is a personal identity that exists on a spectrum, that generally being masculine, androgynous, feminine, and gender expression being the same thing, just for outward appearance. What the fuck is all this complex shit? This comment basically talks about how gender is in the mind and how ch***s don't like the body that they were originally born with. I mean, that's pretty simple enough to boil down to. They just explain it in a complex manner that's really hard to understand. Oh, and they also talk about body dysphoria. But I think the main point about this part at hand is how it talks about how gender and sex is really different from each other. To which the answer is no. The fuck? And about gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria is basically like a disease that plays with the mind to think that you are another gender when you really aren't. And if gender dysphoria really does cause very harmful effects like depression and anxiety, don't you think that that last thing the person would need is you supporting it? Like, they're suffering from fucking depression and you're celebrating. Well, you're probably thinking, why am I talking about gender dysphoria? Why am I here? It's not what it said in the original comment. Well, to compare it to body dysphoria. Body dysphoria is basically like an insecurity about your body and you want to do something about it. That isn't a transgender mindset. That's just something that people do when they're insecure. Like in some of the examples you used. Oh, if they're scrawny as fuck, they want to eat more. They want to work out and have a healthy, big, strong, buff-ass body. They want to be built like Big Man Tyrone. I swear, I can't take this shit seriously. It's basically being insecure about your body but adding biology to it. Who the fuck would actually believe this shit? This shit is not easy by any metric. Science involving our brains, which are the single most complex things we know of, which we are still trying to understand. I know how easy it is just to write off what we say and just reject common scientific consensus. I get that. However, in this instance, I'd like to ask you to just try and understand it. Legitimately take the words I've said and rather than saying something to the effect of, nah, I don't get it, so I won't try. Put my words to scrutiny. Again, if you'd like sources for what I've said, all you need to do is ask and I will. Okay, so it's not that I'm writing all the arguments off, it's just that they're so easy to destroy with the most basic logic and common sense, it's not even funny. Like, I swear, if I see one more argument just regurgitating the same thing over and over again, I'm actually gonna get pissed off. Some of these comments don't even address my main points at hand and are just unrelated fluff to the actual topic. It's to a point where no one's gonna take you seriously if the only thing you're crying about is slurs rather than the actual argument. You are addressing and adding literally nothing. You crying about slurs is the equivalent to watching XQC eat a whole entire fucking hamburger while watching content that isn't even his, while at the same time literally adding nothing to the video. You are going and addressing something that nobody really brung it up as a talking point. point and it didn't even matter. Alright, so now that we addressed comment number 1, I kinda wanted to address some other comments that I didn't get to before. Trans person here. I agree with most of the points in this video. This situation is kinda fucked up. This is awful for the LGBTQ+ community. The only point I disagree with is the part he says that you can only be trans if you have the surgeries, which is a common misconception. Okay, let me think about this for a second. Let me actually use an analogy that could be perfect for this one. And I think I did say this before too, like verbatim. Saying that you're a girl and you're actually a boy, it's essentially the same thing as saying that you're rich when you're broke as fuck. So that's kind of where I got that point from, if you can actually catch my drift now. And I think there was another comment talking about this too, if I can find it. Hold on. You don't need to have surgery to be trans. That was kinda out of pocket. But yeah, I agree, just cause people are trans doesn't mean they're good people and should be held accountable. And I think there was like another one that said the exact same thing, just like much longer. And I think the comment also went in depth on trans surgery and like the prices for it. Oh, it was this one. Let me see who wrote the comment. I think I cut out who wrote this. Oh yeah, it was you. They even said the exact same thing, replying to like my argument that just because you didn't get surgeries that meant you weren't trans was not necessarily how it worked. Well, there is another reason why I do think that. You can't really magically switch your fucking chromosomes. I don't think that's how it works like at all. That's why people often say it's like ignoring the laws of science. And even then, every fucking argument revolving around transgender always came down to a mindset thing. So it's something within the mind, and it's not something within the biological, like the scientific structure of the body and like the XY chromosomes. They always say it's a mind thing. So point proven, it's something within the mind that's fucking you up to thinking that you're another gender when you aren't. It's not that I'm trying to treat these as fact, they're just like my opinion and I kind of wanted to prove my points. It's not like I called somebody a it's not like I was trying to destroy the world and become fucking Osama bin Laden. I made my statements, gave valid reason for those statements, and you guys just refused to accept it. I've made my takes very clear multiple times, even after people have asked me about it, and I even elaborated on those points again and again as much as I had to. I'm not trying to spread hate speech, I'm literally just giving my opinion.